Hello everyone, these are important give reasons from B. Wordsworth, and do check the pinned comment section for other important video links from B. Wordsworth. There were many beggars and other strange people who dropped in at different times of the day at the narrator's house because they came for alms and were given rice, money, a meal, or sometimes a cigarette. This is the first reason. Write a reason in your own words and don't worry about the word limit because the length of each reason is going to vary depending on the question. My reasons may appear to be a bit lengthy because I'm here trying to provide you with as much reference as possible. So use a reference material and frame your own reasons depending on the questions. Question number 2. B. Wordsworth is referred to as the strangest caller who came one afternoon at about 4 o'clock because he did not want alms but wanted to watch the bees in their yard and his English was good. So just make a little change. Let's frame it this way: because he did not want alms but wanted to watch the bees in the yard of the young boy and his English was good and therefore he was the strangest caller. Question number 3. The narrator's mother came out, looked at the man and asked in an unfriendly way what did he want because, unlike other beggars, B. Wordsworth was tidily dressed, spoke in good English, which sounded unnatural, and asked if he might watch the bees that populate the palm trees in the yard, and this made her suspicious. There are many subparts in this single reason. Choose and incorporate any part which you want in your own reason. Unlike other beggars, you must point out the difference between the other beggars and B. Wordsworth. Unlike other beggars, B. Wordsworth was tidily dressed, number 1. He spoke in good English, number 2. And it sounded really unnatural. And number 4, he had a strange request. He wanted to watch the bees. And all these things made the mother suspicious. Question 4. The narrator's mother was worried because B. Wordsworth's English was so good that it did not sound natural, making her skeptical, making her suspicious, and therefore she was worried. Something was not right with this man. Question 5. The narrator's mother asked him to stay in the yard and watch B. Wordsworth because the strangest caller would wait there to watch the swarming bees that populate the palm trees in the yard, and she was suspicious. Therefore, he asked his son to keep a watch on this strange man. Question 6. B. Wordsworth could watch a small flower like the morning glory and cry because. Why? Because he was a poet and a lover of nature, just like the famous romantic poet William Wordsworth, thereby desperately trying to fashion his identity based on that of the great poet. Now, in this reason, how can you miss out any one part? So, the length is going to be a little lengthier than the rest. All these things will depend on the question available. Here the important points are: he was a poet, you must mention this. He was a lover of nature and he had similarity with William Wordsworth, and he was desperately trying to fashion his identity based on that of the great poet, and therefore he introduced himself as the brother of White Wordsworth, that is William Wordsworth. This is class 12, my dear students, and English literature is subjective, so no one can calculate anything. Use your own judgment and adapt your style accordingly. Question 7. The narrator liked his mother when she was not beating him because the mother was a strict disciplinarian, bet the boy at regular intervals, and their relationship was devoid of warmth and affection. Therefore, He liked his mother when she was not beating him. She used to abuse him physically. She used to beat him rather badly. And therefore, the narrator did not like his mother at all times. Question 8. B. Wordsworth spoke about the poet's tragedy because he tried to sell the boy a poem about mothers at a bargain price of 4 cents, but his mother refused the offer, and therefore he was aware of the poet's tragedy and he spoke about the poet's tragedy. Question 9. B. Wordsworth did not seem to mind when the boy's mother refused to buy his poem because he was a failed poet, quite used to such rejection as an artist, and no one had yet brought a single copy. Failed poet number 1, quite used to rejection number 2, and no one had yet bought a single copy. This is my single reason. And I feel that this is the most appropriate way to write this reason. Question 10. When B. Wordsworth left, the boy prayed he would see him again because he is not judgmental like his mother and develops a longing for B. Wordsworth in their first meeting. So this is the end of the first meeting and he wanted to meet him once again. He had developed a longing. During the second meeting, B. Wordsworth said that he had been waiting for the boy for a long time because he wanted to invite the young boy to come and eat some of the ripe, red, very sweet, juicy mangoes grown in his yard. Now, this information was there in the text. I have copied that information in this reason. I've used the adjectives associated with mangoes from the text. So, I have framed this reason using textual reference. The boy narrator ran out of the house swearing that he would never come back because his mother bet him so rather badly that his nose was bleeding and he was very angry. B. Wordsworth urged the young boy to lie on the grass and look up at the sky and watch the stars because he wanted to encourage him to soak in the wonders of the natural world and escape into a world of imagination away from the harsh realities of life. The boy narrator forgot all his anger, his tears and all the blows because he did as B. Wordsworth told him. These are the exact words from your text. He did as B. Wordsworth told him, looked up at the sky, watched the stars, saw what he meant and felt like nothing when he escaped into a world of imagination and forgot about everything. This is another compact reason. B. Wordsworth and the narrator became friends because the former provided him with the healing touch and the latter instinctively understood and empathized with the former. Who is the former? B. Wordsworth. He provided the boy with the healing touch and B. Wordsworth was understood and empathized with by the narrator. The narrator, the former. The young boy did not disclose the secret relationship of friendship because he had given his word to B. Wordsworth that he would never tell anybody about him, the mango and the coconut trees, the palm trees, and the boy kept his word. He did not break his promise. The little poet in B. Wordsworth's story was never born because the girl who loved grass, flowers, and trees died. So this is a simple reason. The boy poet said he would never touch a thing in the girl's garden because he was very sad and heartbroken after the death of the girl, his beloved. The garden grew high and wild because the heartbroken poet never touched a thing in the girl's garden after her premature death. She died at a very young age, so this is premature age, to die. The young boy narrator understood the story of B. Wordsworth because he was sensitive, number 1, Understanding number 2. Number 3, empathized with B. Wordsworth and shared. Number 4, a deep emotional bond of friendship with the poet. Again, 4 points in one brief reason. I don't think any of your teachers will object to this. This is how you must write your reasons. B. Wordsworth and the narrator went for long walks because they enjoyed each other's company, shared their feelings, and soaked in the wonders of the natural world. And therefore they went for long walks. The world became a most exciting place for the boy narrator because he shared an enduring bond of love with B. Wordsworth, enjoyed walks, shared his feelings, and found a temporary respite from the harsh realities of life by escaping into a world of imagination. Get these concepts clear and you will be able to answer each and every question from B. Wordsworth. Trust me. There are some basic concepts. Read the text thoroughly and apply those concepts. The boy narrator was filled with wonder because his friend B. Wordsworth revealed a secret that he was writing the greatest poem of the earth, and in 22 years he would have written a poem that he would sing to all humanity. And as a young boy, he was amazed. He was filled with wonder. B. Wordsworth encouraged the boy narrator to drop his pen, and then they would wait to see what would happen because he let the boy discover things by himself, very important, and urged him to take delight in everyday experiences, instilling in him a sense of curiosity, optimism, and a yearning for deriving pleasure from simple things of life. Here you can choose which points you will write for this reason. Otherwise, this is a perfect reason according to me. Next, question 26. The young narrator asked B. Wordsworth if he would be the richest man in the world when he would write the greatest poem. But the latter, that is B. Wordsworth, did not reply because he was aware of the harsh reality that he was a failed poet, unsuccessful materialistically, that he would never be the richest poet in the world. The boy narrator found himself wanting to cry because one day when he went to see B. Wordsworth in his little house, he found him lying on his bed, very old and very weak. This expression, very old and very weak, must be there in your reason. The narrator keenly felt that he had been slapped by his mother because he could clearly see on the face of the old and sick B. Wordsworth the inevitability of death. And this realization was a great blow, and therefore it felt like he had been slapped by his mother, the harsh reality. The narrator burst out crying loudly as he sat on the knees of B. Wordsworth because, although he was grief-stricken, the poet B. Wordsworth, who was on his deathbed, did not even look sad, and this made the narrator burst out crying. B. Wordsworth pulled the narrator to his thin chest because he is affectionate towards the boy and tries to make him stop crying. B. Wordsworth tells the boy that everything he has ever said is a lie and an illusion because perhaps he himself is disillusioned and frustrated, but this also seems to be an attempt to de-link the boy from the sad memories, erase his existence from the mind of the young boy. Again, a compact reason. Both the points must be there in this answer. The boy left B. Wordsworth's house and ran home crying like a poet because he was grief-stricken and he had promised to go away from his house after the death of B. Wordsworth. He ran away from this harsh reality. The boy walked along Alberto Street a year later but could find no sign of the poet's house because It had been pulled down and a big two-storied building had taken its place. 34. The mango tree, the plum and the coconut trees had all been cut down because the house had been pulled down and the yard had been cleared and there was brick and concrete everywhere. 35. The boy became fonder of B. Wordsworth despite the skepticism of his mother because he had an accommodating nature, provided him with a healing touch, taught him lessons about life and leisure, and helped to escape into a world of imagination away from the harshness of his mother. So, a summing up of their relationship. 36. B. Wordsworth builds an imaginary world where he will write the greatest poem that he will sing to all humanity because, living in post-colonial Trinidad, he escapes into a world of fantasy to forget about his unfulfilled dreams. Unfulfilled and broken dreams play an important role in the life of our protagonist, B. Wordsworth. B. Wordsworth shared one heart with White Wordsworth because he admired White Wordsworth, who was the famous nature poet William Wordsworth, and shared the same affinity with nature. William Wordsworth was a lover of nature. Similarly, B. Wordsworth was also a lover of nature. And the last one, the past of B. Wordsworth is deep because perhaps he is a lonely and disillusioned poet, aware of his broken dreams, rootlessness, alienation, and identity crisis, living in post-colonial Trinidad.